Me noho tātou, please be seated. E hoa ngā mano mātua, tama wairua tapu me ngāna he rapono. Tēnei mātua koutou pōnonga e inoi atu ki a koutou, kia te hao tāraha no, ki rongi e nei tauira i mu i a mātou. Manaki te hoki i ngā whānau i haere mai nei, ki te tautoko ngā whānau me ngā iramotu tamahine hoki. O reira, ka tukuna atu nei i noi runga te kaha te pono ngā wā katoa ko te māngai hei tautoko mai aia nei, ākini nei aia. Tēnā koutou, nau mai haere mai koutou, no tui te moana nui a kiwa, kiko nei, ki te waipaunamu, ki te waka a Māui. Haere mai, nau mai, piki mai. Ka tū ngā mihi ki o tātou tini aitua, kia rātou, kua wehe atu rai te ārai, noho mai rā tarangi Māria. O reira, ka huri au ki a koutou, ngā whānau i haere mai nei ki te tautoko, ki tāwhi ngā whānau, ngā tauira i mu i a koutou. Nō reira, piki te ora, piki te kaha, piki te māramatanga. It's a great pleasure to speak here on behalf of Ngāi Tahu with the University of Canterbury to congratulate the students, but also to acknowledge all of the families who have come here to support their family and their students today. And in particular from our tribe, welcome to those visitors from overseas, international families that have come here today, and to all others throughout New Zealand, the South Island and the North Island, Stewart Island. Whare kauri hoki, nō reira, tēnā koutou, piki te ora, piki te kaha, piki te māramatanga.
Manu tiria, manu elia, ki poho traka kato e, kato ai turi, e tore koia. Koia, koia, kokariki ki mai a Māui, e hara piti pitu me te maru e, e tore koia, koia.
Piki te ora, piki te kaha, piki te māramatanga.
Ka tangi te titi, ka tangi te kaka, ka tangi hoki a ho, ti hei moriora. Ro rangatira mā, no mai, piki mai, hari mai ki te wharawananga o Waitaha. No reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou katoa. I welcome you to the University of Canterbury and invite all present to stand, remove trenches, and join in singing the Māori and English versions of the first verse of the national anthem as in your program and as displayed on the screens behind me. Please be seated. It is a pleasure for me to welcome you to this University of Canterbury graduation ceremony in my third year as your elected Chancellor. Your university is in good heart and spirits are rising further. Even as a little over a month ago, we acknowledged that 3 years had passed since the most devastating of the earthquakes which befell us, you could feel in the air not just the usual buzz and excitement of the return of our staff and the arrival of our students at the start of the new academic year, but also a renewed sense of confidence in the future of our great institution. Confidence built on the hard work, dedication, and resilience of our embassy community, which has enabled us to deliver throughout full years of teaching and research, graduating students in record numbers, often with higher than usual results. Confidence reinforced by the now evident signs of progress on all three fronts, which we had early on identified as representing our most immediate and greatest challenges: the fixing of our damaged infrastructure, the rebuilding of student numbers, and returning the university to financial viability as soon as possible. Confidence given an enormous boost by the government's decision, announced by the Prime Minister on Island Campus in October, to invest $260 million new money in the University of Canterbury to enable a complete rebuild of our engineering precinct and the development of a completely new regional science and innovation centre, as well as maintaining the government's funding grant for teaching at previously agreed levels for up to 5 years. Taken together, these developments compound our hopes for a better and brighter future for UC and give conviction to the sense that we are regaining control of our own destiny after the most extraordinary period in our university's long history. We have been given the tools and can now get on with the jobs. Beyond calamity and the immediate challenges of recovery, the strategic vision for this university we had set before the earthquakes and reconfirmed in their aftermath, the vision of a world-class learning environment attracting those with the greatest potential to really make a difference, seems very much on the path to realisation. So much for the future. Some of you graduating today will have started your university careers with UC before the earthquakes. Significant numbers of you, I would imagine the clear majority, are of a cohort which has, in your time here, known nothing but natural disaster and its consequences. The experience of those years and that time makes you very special and will distinguish you for life. You chose to come, to stay with us, and to tough it out. The university, in response, at times under the most difficult of personal and professional circumstances, redoubled its efforts to honour the commitment it had entered into with you. The outcome is that there will always be an aura about the graduating classes of 2013 and 2014. You and your cohort will go down in the long and distinguished annals of this institution as perhaps the greatest we have ever known for resilience, for courage, for determination, and at the same time for compassion and caring for each other and caring for the wider community. Whatever your individual path to this place, now is the time for celebration and congratulations to our graduands. It is the time to acknowledge your talents, your commitment to the goals you set yourselves, and the disciplines you imposed upon yourselves, in many cases years ago. This is the time to celebrate not only your hard work, but also your resilience, because gaining a university qualification never comes easily. This is an occasion our graduands will remember for the rest of their lives. I hope that from time to time they recall not just today's triumph, but also the setbacks, disappointments and doubts they encountered and had to overcome to be here ready to graduate today. Our greatest admiration goes out to those graduands who found ways to manage the challenges of our recent everyday life here in Canterbury and the competing demands of study, family life, and a working career. We especially acknowledge those for whom university once seemed a daunting prospect, something out of reach, an impossible dream. This might have been because of a disability, because they had tried already and failed, because they had not studied in many years, because English was not their first language, or simply because they were the first down all the generations and centuries of their family to have both the desire and the opportunity to go to university. I was one of those, and I know that many of you are too. It is a time as well to acknowledge and thank the two most important groups who have contributed to the success of our graduands. The university faculty, those lecturers, tutors and support staff who gave so freely of their knowledge, time and assistance. And those family members, whānau and friends who supported those graduating today. The ones who offered practical help and encouragement in times of stress and anxiety. They were critical to your eventual success. Let us note as a community and as a nation how much we will benefit from the achievements of our graduands. They have the greatest potential to make a difference. They will contribute knowledge of the latest research and developments in their field. They take with them the ability to think on a higher intellectual plane. And as they depart, they leave with us the electric charge of success, which is so critical to the continual reinvention of the university. Many will become leaders in their professions. All will work in the service of humanity. Many will go beyond our shores. I know that wherever they choose to work and settle, they will use their new skills to contribute to the making of a better world. Wherever they live and work, today's graduates will be University of Canterbury alumni. They will remain family and become part of our worldwide community of scholars, well in excess of 100,000 strong and comprising a global supportive network. We look forward to maintaining contacts with them and welcoming them back home whenever they choose to come. It is time now for me to say the words which under law give effect to the highlight of our celebration. As each of our graduands comes forward, let us call to mind their work, their commitment, their tenacity, the determination which have led to this, their special moment. I now convene a ceremony of the University of Canterbury for the conferment of degrees and the receipt of diplomas. In the name of the University of Canterbury, I, Lionel John Wood, Chancellor, now confer degrees in this university upon those who are about to be presented, I call upon the Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Rod Carr, to introduce those who will present the graduands.
I call upon the Associate Dean of Postgraduate Research, Professor Bryce Williamson, to present the doctoral graduands.
Sir, I have the honour to present these graduands for the conferment of degrees. Doctors of Philosophy, Firas Ali Jawad Al-Hassani in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Stephen Alexander Fitchett in Computer Science. Jennifer Megan Hurst in Forestry. Umu Kulthum Binti Jamaluddin in Mechanical Engineering. Pawan Kumar in Mechanical Engineering. Deandre Parayachi in Chemical and Process Engineering. Christopher Lee Peniel in Chemical and Process Engineering. Balaji Somasundaram in Chemical and Process Engineering. Michael Aldo Speck in Mechanical Engineering. David James Stevenson in Bioengineering.
I now call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Forestry, Professor Conan Fee, to present the graduands in his faculty.
Sir, I have the honour to present these graduands for the conferment of degrees and receipt of diplomas. Master of Engineering with Distinction, Varun Anil Joshi. Masters of Engineering, Sahad Basharati. Eugene Peter Berin. Christopher John Chester. Andrew James McLean Dunbar. Samuel Alexander McCarty. Samuel Lewis White. Masters of Engineering and Management, Bjorn Lewis Arndt. Hayley Rose Burnett. Samuel Kent Bastard. Anton David Dirks French. Amy Marie Hardy. David James Hopper. Elizabeth Rosa Ireland. Daniel James Maxwell. Eli George Maynard. Andrew Ian McFarlane. Stuart Guy Nichols. Todd Keith Patterson. Alexander George Smith. Matthew Bede Smith. Shane Alexander Solsby. Benjamin John Vollebrecht. Thomas Leonardus Vollebrecht. Ama Manjari Wikramanayake. Julia Stephanie Wild. Timothy Yee. Masters of Engineering in Transportation. Jonathan Peter Ashford. Hilary Bruce Johnson. Master of Engineering Studies. Sheikh Rashid Bukhsh. Bachelor of Engineering with First Class Honours and Diploma in Japanese Language, Andrew Chen. Bachelors of Engineering with First Class Honours, Sean Marcus Davidson, Senior Scholar. Max Christian Ferguson, Senior Scholar. Matthew Stewart Gervin, Senior Scholar. Sven Daniel Knottenbelt, Senior Scholar. Hannah Marie McNichol, Senior Scholar. Darren Thomas O'Neill, Senior Scholar. Jean-Marie Pike, Senior Scholar. Jared Alexander Zarifa, Senior Scholar. Jonathan Bruce James Applin. Aaron Arasu Ashok. Gavin Michael Austin. William Michael Baker. Joel Cameron Barmer. Sean William Bailey. Dale Mundi Bithwaite. Roger Joseph Leo Blameyers. Robert Boddington. Hamish Gordon Felix Borofchik. Guy Leonard Boren. Alana Jane Brown. Darren Nixon Burrows. Elizabeth Sterling Kane. Benjamin Clive Cameron. Victoria Margaret Clark. Lucy Victoria Clark. Stephen Sean Collinson. Jared Cook. Oliver Ralph Kuhlman. Benjamin Mackenzie Cuff. Gaetano De Duel. Benjamin Thomas Dobson. Max Andreas Doesberg. Fabian Zeno Ole Dollamore. Martin Philip Durney. Samuel Pringle Eames. Ashley Todd Isles. Luke Daniel Faulkner. Oliver Stephen Fisher. Emily Rose Franklin. Annalisa Fraser. Callum James Galbraith. Samuel John Garmonsway. Maximilian Namdi Gessler. Thomas James Gilbert. Ian Glass. Adam David Goodwin. Anne Mary Gordon. Lynette Josephine Tin Hang Graham. Alexander Oscar Grant. Craig Peter Gray. Rebecca Alice Louise Gray. Michael Ben Gunning. Gibson Campbell Harvey. Olivia Mary Heslip. Kerry Ian Hebden. Lance Harry Henderson. Weston John Hill. Laura Jean Irvine. Anton Vladislavovich Ivanov. Samuel Henry George Jackson. Henry Rufus Jones. Patrick William Kearney. David Quentin Kingham. Sue Young Ko. Matthew Luke Cockshorn. Wayne Anthony Lacker. Chin Wei Liu. Royce Liu. Jordan Ashley Page Lloyd. Thomas McLeod Logan. Vincent Y. Ho Ma. Joseph Luke Marius Vilas McGurk. Robert James McIver. K. Donald Lewis McKee. Chloe Ann McKenzie. Tobias Paul Bowman McLaughlin. Daniel Hayden McMullen. Timothy John Mead. Louise Maria Moroney. Sean Philip Mutzelo. Robbie Muir. Thomas Charles Mulvihill. Krista Jane Murphy. Jessica Kate Napper. Abigail Elizabeth Neve. Amy Louise O'Loughlin. Mark Gerald Oppas. Jason Samuel Orchard. Michael Andrew Payne. Cameron Ian Paynton. Kelsey Margaret Patterson. Sky Kimberly Patterson Kane. Scott George Paulin. Marco Matthias Palatakis. Daniel Paul Redmond. Michael John Robson. Andrew Michael Sarrett. Nicholas William Scarr. Brendan Jonathan Schicker. James Michael Tim Shiel. Josh Nathaniel Schipper. Luke Jonathan Hulser Swartfeger. Jonathan Brian Sylvester. Bevan Richard Small. Daniel Gregory Smith. Francesca Helen Smith. Joshua James McCashin Smith. Leon Tyler Stanley. Yifei Tang. Felicity Lewis Thomas. Hamish Lee Thompson. Ethan Marshall Thompson. Hamish Robert Tomlinson. Anthony John Van Eden. Victor Tianwei Wang. Bryn Elliott Wansborough. George Richard Waring. Nicholas Mark Waring. Taylor Robert Watson. Douglas James Paul Weston. Joshua Mark White. Charles William Wilkinson. Anthony Scott Willard. Christopher Raymond Wooding. David James Wright.
Last year, the University of Canterbury Chamber Choir was reformed and named Consortia. Their inaugural concert was held in the Transitional Cathedral. This year, the choir is 35 strong, and as a new initiative, we've also established a vocal consort of 16 singers. Today, some members of Consortia, together with some School of Music staff, will sing two pieces for you. Yesterday, by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, arranged by Roger Emerson, and John Wells' arrangement of Now is the Hour. The soloists in Yesterday are Sophia Good and William Frost.
Yesterday
Bachelors of Engineering with second class honours, Division 1. Muhammad Nazirul Mubin bin Abdul Rahman. Muhammad Faizi Ahmad Radzi. Abdullah Adel Al-Sharif. Alexander Terence Bailey. Samuel Clinton Baker. Aaron Jack Barber. Joshua Allen Bate. Thomas Edward Beaumont. Tony David Booth. Thomas George Bosma. James Wallace Brown. Fletcher Jordan Bruce. Michael Bernard Bush. Stephen Charles Chester. Lo Fun Chin. Yi Jing Chai. Matthew James Claridge. Liam Malcolm Clark. Alexandra Zoe Cummin. Nicholas Frederick Coombs. Sean Patrick Cooney. Paul Michael Davey. Timothy Michael Dibley. Letitia Georgina Drake. Liam Ellis. Alex Ann Jane Evans. Ian Lindsay Faithful. Brendan Joseph Fisher. Muhammad Arafuddin bin Ghazali. Christo Kevin John Gilbert. Darren Ashley Gopperth. Michael James Gorman. Benjamin Jason Graham. Brendan Ross Gully. Samuel Walter Harris. Muhammad Wamik Hassan. David Shane Hatton. Kelly Alice Hobbs. Sarah Rose Holmes. Chloe Elizabeth Holt. Guan Ning Huang. David Furcus James. Alexander Johannes Jelly. Andrew Jeffrey Jenkins. Anusha Kandasamy. Kelsey Ann Keenan. Jessica May Borner Kerr. John Albert Kleingen. Hamish Andrew Robert Lang. Jared Charles Lewis. Emily Jane Lindsay. Campbell Crawford Loudon. Ian Baird McLaren. Nathan Roland Marks. Cameron Leslie Matthews. Stuart Talbot McCready. Jack Alexander McTavish. Brett Robert Menifee. Christopher John Olison Mills. Ryan David Mitchell. Nicholas Damien Molkson. Liam David Morrison. Jessica Mary Newlands. Samuel Lawrence Nugent. Julia Rose O'Brien. Charles Kenneth Palmer. Ellen Louise Palmer. Matthew James Peterson. Julian Thomas Prendergast. Jared Noel Ramati. Jane Bridget Rendell. Harry Riley Smith. Daniel Joseph Reese. Quinton Andrew Ralston. Angus Charles Rowland. Daniel Thomas Goff Scully. Patrick Brian Sharp. Riley Connor Smith. Thomas Montgomery Smith. Hayden Christie Somerville. Nicholas Bruce Hearn Somerville. Lei Sang Robert Tan. Loch Lam Tang. Tiu Chien Ting. Caitlin Jenny Rose Trommet van Dalen. Benjamin Malcolm Turner. Jason Van Winkle. Kirk Bradley Walker. Samuel Jeffrey Walton. Su Chi Wong. Thomas Robert West. Richard Hamilton White. Thomas Raymond Gregory Whittle. Sarah Louise Whitty. Christy Nicole White. Nicholas Stewart Wyatt. Benjamin Allen Young. Bachelors of Engineering with Second Class Honours, Division 2. Asil Saeed Saif Al-Habsi. Stephen John Bates. Sarah Litster Braddock. Sophie Rebecca Braithwaite. Henry Winston Broom. Philip William Clements. Elizabeth Allison Crum. Olivia Elaine Davidson. Lars Gordon Davidson Dixon. Matthew Philip Deans. Jacob Matthew Dixon. Christopher Nkanyezi Duthie. Kai Evan Edge. Caitlin Grace McNeil Feasy. Sean Lawrence Gardner. Erin Marie Gladwin. Mitchell Brown Graham. Marcus James Grierson. Matthew John Hendon. Andrew Herrick Hine. Rex Eldon Hooper. Xiang Yu Hu. Tracy Nicole Jackson. Jordan Marie Kirk. Jason Robert Long. Nicholas Blake MacDonald. Rhiannon Emrys McNeish. Zachary Peter Meyer. Aaron Kane Miller. Finian Craig Malloy. Peter James Murphy. Vincent Edmund Kai Sheng O'Connell Liu. Hannah Kate Orchard. Eric Vincent Osborne. Thomas Jeffrey Otterson. Aidan David Ponsonby. Jeffrey Allen Rutherford. Utsuk Falgunbai Shah. George William Harlow Thompson. Hugo Frank Topping. Duncan James Moore Tweed. Kaitathip Varano Watana. Alexander James Walker. Brent Christopher Woolhouse. Melissa Joan Wright. Jimmy Yuan. Yen Zhou. Bachelors of Engineering with third class honours. Suraj Banjadi. Dominic Anton Ching. Matthew Philip Crichton. Jacob Martin Stewart Daly. Lauren Allen Landers. Ryan James Leach. David Kendall Rycroft. Sebastian Schaffler. Timothy Frank Tomlinson. Bachelors of Engineering, Morris John Kleingen. Rewa Jane Satori. Bachelors of Forestry Science with first class honours, Blake William Jones. Christopher Bruce Perry. Liam Thomas Watson. Bachelor of Forestry Science with second class honours, Division 1, Andre Monique Callahan. Bachelors of Forestry Science with second class honours, Division 2, Sarah Christine Naylor. Julo Mark Ilse Lucien van Leerd. Bachelors of Forestry Science, Sheridan Moana Ashford. Regan Thomas Conn. Henry George William Morris. Stephen James Arthur Norris. Oliver Strachan Robb.
Alan Gibbs, entrepreneur, merchant banker, political activist, philanthropist, art collector, adventurer, inventor of high-speed amphibians, has led a powerful, influential, and exciting life. His influence has been substantial across New Zealand's business, economic, political, and cultural sectors. He was born in Christchurch, and after living much of his youth in Wellington, returned to Christchurch and graduated from the University of Canterbury in 1961 with a Bachelor of Arts in Economics, having previously studied for 3 years towards an engineering degree. He went on to gain an MA in Economics from Victoria University of Wellington. Between the late 1970s and 1990s, a period of economic and political crisis and reform in New Zealand, Mr. Gibbs was active in restructuring inefficient businesses so their best elements could survive and prosper in competitive markets. These included Freightways Limited, Ceramco, Bendon, Atlas Majestic Industries, and most significantly, Telecom Corporation of New Zealand. He also worked to apply the same disciplines to a number of inefficient government entities and businesses, including turning the New Zealand Forest Service into the New Zealand Forestry Corporation and advising on the hospital system. Of the new enterprises he helped establish, New Zealand's first pay television channel, Sky TV, and the development of Auckland's Viaduct Harbour are the most prominent. Mr. Gibbs has been one of New Zealand's loudest and most consistent advocates for ongoing political and economic reform. He brought the Centre for Independent Studies to New Zealand, is an active member of the New Zealand Business Roundtable, now the New Zealand Initiative, and was involved in the establishment of the ACT Party. He has been a generous supporter of the arts. He and his former wife, Dame Jenny Gibbs, established the New Gallery in Auckland and were founding donors to Te Papa. Over the past 2 decades, Mr. Gibbs has developed one of the world's great sculpture parks on 1,000 acres besides the Kaipara Harbour. Gibbs Farm combines a unique landscape with exotic animals and some of the best works of leading global artists, including Anish Kapoor and Richard Serra. He has also devoted the past 15 years to the immense challenge of developing and commercialising the world's first high-speed amphibious vehicle technology. The Aquada was revealed to the public in 2003 and was used by English business magnate Sir Richard Branson to break the record for an amphibious crossing of the English Channel in 2004. In 2012, 2 new high-speed vehicles, the Humdinger and the Fibian, were unveiled in the United States, and the Quadski was commercially launched in 2012. Mr. Gibbs has maintained a relationship with the University of Canterbury. In 1994, he established the F.A. Hayek Scholarship, and in 2013, he made an additional foundation to support the Economic Honours Fellowships. I now confer upon Alan Timothy Gibbs the degree of Doctor of Engineering honoris causa.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of Council, staff, graduates and guests. I am honoured today to talk to you on the occasion of my being granted an honorary doctorate in engineering. First, I studied 3 out of 4 years of a Bachelor of Engineering degree and then switched over to a Master of Arts in Economics and Politics. Canterbury and Canterbury University have been a major influence on my life. I was born in Kashmir and spent much of my youth here before returning to university in 1958. My experience at Canterbury in engineering, economics and politics started the most significant stimulation in my life. Engineering gave me discipline. Economics taught me the art of justifying anything, and political science made me think. My economics professors were Alan Danks, a Keynesian, and Wolfgang Rosenberg, a Marxist, and they strongly agreed about almost everything. This was a great introduction to the uncertainty of economics and life. John Pocock was an amazing political scientist. I was completely shocked by the Chinese Taoist political philosophy he taught us in the first term. One of his quotations was, "When the people know the law, the emperor is weak. When the people don't know the law, the emperor is strong." That and similar thinking completely shattered my engineering presumption that there is only one right answer. Pocock's wisdom is further illustrated by the fact that being an 18-year-old engineer, I was a convinced communist, and I thought this was the only logical form of human organisation, and that this could be scientifically proved. I made an appointment with Pocock after work to show him my proof. After about 10 minutes, and without having said a word, he stood up and said, "Sorry, Alan, I have to catch a bus." These gentlemen taught me the most useful wisdom of life. Almost nothing is certain, and almost anything is possible. Realizing how little I knew, my first job was as a diplomat in London. I then decided in 1965, at the age of 24 or 5, to broaden my options and go back to employing my engineering training by trying to build New Zealand's first Indigenous motor car. It was called the Nova. Not many of you will remember that. Lately, I have spent the last 18 years developing the first technology in the world capable of enabling a motor vehicle to go at normal speeds on land and over 30 miles per hour on water. All previous amphibians have been limited to about 9 miles per hour on water. Our high-speed amphibious vehicles range from the quad ski, an amphibious personal watercraft, a quadder, a sports car, humdinger, a 4-ton truck, amphibian, a 6-ton truck, plus several others. Much of this development has been done in New Zealand, and your Professor Keith Alexander helped significantly in these endeavours, especially developing the water jets. Outside of engineering, I have been involved in many business activities, including restructuring and selling 1 million acres of government forests, leading the purchase of Telecom, partnering in the creation of Sky Television, and advising the government on improving the hospital system. Needlessly, they didn't take that advice. So what happened to the world while I have been playing around? While I was at Canterbury, New Zealand had the 3rd highest standard of living in the world. Just after I graduated in 1963, my wife Jenny, who is here today, and I travelled to Singapore, where we saw people living literally in cardboard boxes. You couldn't see worse poverty anywhere in the world. Singapore then had the 130th highest standard of living in the world, and less than a quarter of New Zealand. During that same trip, Jenny and I travelled to Berlin and managed to get through Checkpoint Charlie to the east, where we saw people queuing around the block to enter a supermarket which had almost empty shelves. What a change 50 years has brought. Singapore now has the 3rd highest standard of living in the world and is twice as wealthy in per capita income as New Zealand. And communism doesn't exist. Since I was a graduate here, the world's population has increased by just over 2-fold, whilst the gross world product has increased by over 7 times. That is, the average person in the world is 3.5 times more wealthy today. These are the fastest rates of growth in human history, but certainly couldn't be predicted in 1963. My generation can reasonably throw down a challenge to you guys to beat that. You also need to make up for my generation's failure and get New Zealand back to 3rd richest in the world. If Singapore can do that, why can't we? Singapore is now twice as rich as New Zealand. And there isn't any mystery about it. Anyone who studies Singapore will realise why. And they're the things that we should be doing. To conclude, I commend the following advice to you as you develop your lives. The world is a fabulous place. Take chances, follow your instincts, and make sure that you have serious fun. Thank you.
Dr. Gibbs, on behalf of the audience and the staff of the university and members of the University Council, thank you for your address. Thank you for an insight into the extraordinary things that you have already achieved in your life since leaving Canterbury University, and we look forward to future chapters of the story as it continues to unfold. As we draw our formal proceedings to a close, there are a few things I would like to be able to share. The first, both personally as Vice-Chancellor and Chief Executive of the University, and on your behalf as graduates, is to acknowledge and thank the staff of the University who over the last 3 years in particular have done extraordinary things in extraordinary circumstances to support you that you might complete your studies and graduate today. On your behalf, I thank them. When many of you first came to the university, and some of you were in halls of residence, I had a little introductory speech which said quite simply, there is a deal here. The deal is one often engineers understand quite well, but the deal went something like this. You bring us your curiosity. We undertake to teach you your chosen discipline. And then you must go forth with courage and stand on what you have come to know and what in the future you will come to understand and believe. Curiosity, discipline, and courage are hallmarks of a University of Canterbury graduate and our alumni. We will now stand and sing Gaudeamus, the words of which in Latin appear in your program, and I would ask that you remain standing when we have finished as the stage party lead the graduates from the auditorium. Please stand.